credit is due, but they do a great job.
Yeah, one of the finer coaching staffs in the CIML, and it's shown. But they fail to, they want to win that last game. You talk to any of those coaches down there, you talk to any high school coach, and you can win 11 games of the year, but if you lose the last one, it still hurts.
That's right, and we'll get you Southeast Polk coming out of the field right now to begin their fourth quarter. Don Starcevich, Brad Zelenovich, Mark Martin, Randy Murrow, Luke Vandersanden, Eric Hendrickson, Adam Booth, all great job year in, year out. 3rd and 10 from the 35. Bream gets it at the 31 up to the 40, and he's about 5 yards short of the first down as we begin quarter number 4. 21-12, Dowling leads.
And a good hold for Dowling Catholic. Get your offense back on the field. Southeast Polk really needs a good punt here. They really got to play the field position game now. Pin Dowling Catholic down deep, get him off the field quick, get your offense back out there. But good hold by the Dowling Catholic defense.
Gain of 6. Ball's at the 40-yard line. The punter is Keaton Babcock. He drops the ball, and the rush, if it was coming, would have had it, and he gets a boomer off. It's going to be fair caught by Devaney at the 24-yard line.
Devaney handles the punt.
And I want to bring in, if I can, I'm going to bring in the Des Moines Register reporter covering tonight's ball game. This is just as good a time as any to bring in Jay Ricketson. And Jay, thanks for joining us. What do you think of your impressions of the first 3 quarters here tonight?
Well, it's about as good as advertised. 2 top 10 teams coming in, and it's definitely been hard hitting. And I think Southeast Polk has pretty much answered anything Dowling has had, but that end of that first half, that flurry was really the key so far. The last third quarter pretty much flew by. Nobody could gain an advantage. Definitely that flurry at the end of the second quarter has been the key tonight.
Which player has, as we get back to live action here, it's Chase Dowell over the left side, goes off tackle and goes backwards a yard. Which team, which Maroon has kind of impressed you the most in this contest?
Well, I saw Ryan Boyle last year in the playoffs, and I thought him and Hartley kind of split in time. He kind of looked like the better athlete. Maybe not quite as polished, but definitely a very good athlete, and he's showing that tonight too. He's a pretty decent player.
We talked to your cohort Tommy Birch last week, and I know he's looking at a story about Ryan Doyle and where he fits in the Dowling legacy as Boyle is hit as he throws to Hawk. Hawk at the 20 to the 25 up to the 30. Nice downfield block. Hawk's got some room. 35, 40, 45, 50. Puts on a move down to the 40, 38-yard line before he's tackled by Drew Mikesel. And also making the stop for Southeast Polk is Cody Brown. Huge pickup from the 24 all the way down to the 38.
And that's exactly what Dowling Catholic wants to continue. It's Matthew Hawk out in space. Quick throws. He makes one person miss, and then it's a big gang. And we've seen that 3 times tonight. And Hawk's got to be exhausted, but I bet he's just loving performing in this kind of environment.
That'll put him over 200 yards receiving, at least by our statistics. And I know, Jay, you're trying to do the same thing on the fly. And he's
Hawk heard me mention Boyle is the most impressive. He answers with a play like that.
Yep.
Funny how players work that way. 1st and 10 from the 38. Handoff Dowley. Tucks it, runs it to the 40, hits. Nice hit and stick by Chase Drees, but Dowell is able to bounce his way to the 30. He's a little slow in getting up.
Yeah, and he came right off the field. He was really slow and walked right off, and you can see the training staff going to attend to him right away. And so we're going to hope he's going to be all right because you really need him back and healthy.
2nd and 3. All right, Southeast Polk, Kyle Starcevich. What do you think of his performance coming back?
He's an impressive-looking guy. I had not seen him yet, and he looks like he's got that kind of polish on a quarterback. He's been drilled, you can tell. Obviously, his dad's one of the assistants, and seems as though he's been to his camps. He's kind of got the footwork.
Nate Christian comes all the way through to the 15-yard line. Great run there. Sorry, Jay, didn't mean to cut you off, but Nate Christian with the pickup. I'll help you out on your stats if you help me out on the analysis. How about that? Sure. Nate, the nice pickup, and there's a whistle on the play. We have an injured Maroon down there right in front of the Dowling sideline.
And I think it's a lineman. It looked like he got his knee rolled on, and he went down right away in pain, and so they were quick to get over to him.
It's Jake Curvin.
Yeah, and that's huge for Dowling Catholic because he is by far, I think, their best lineman at right tackle. He's had some injury problems already this year in camp. He got hit, and so if that's a re-aggravated injury, that could be devastating for the Maroons.
Joining us, Jay Ricketson of the Des Moines Register. Starcevich, he gets a lot of the attention as a Division I pick. We've seen Matthew Hawk, a Division I signee. Also, John Wisniewski, don't see much out of him. Other players besides the headliners that drawing your attention?
Well, there's of course, Dowling's always known for linemen, and I guess I haven't been watching them too close trying to follow the play action, but there's always bound to be maybe not a heavily recruited guy down there, but somebody that's definitely going to make a college team better. I mean, the work ethic that these guys come out with and the way that they're coached.
Dowell gets the handoff, and he goes backwards. Might lose a yard on that one. Yep, they're going to move him back a yard. Brandon Johnson makes the stop. And it's been one running back after another for Dowling. I mean, you go back, you had Greg Goley who replaced. There's just a long line of these guys that go year and year. Chase Dowell gets his chance now, and it's his turn to shine. Yeah,
he's looking really really sharp. I mean, that's the thing I've seen of Dowling. I'm an Eastern Iowa transplant, but the 3 years I've been out here, something you can always count on with Dowling backs is, I mean, they're running with a purpose, and they might not be the most physically talented or the fastest guys, but they're always running hard,
And they're extremely well coached. The running back coach, Tom Wilson. So he's got that offense figured out, and he's got a real good group of guys working for him.
Jay, where were you at in Eastern Iowa?
Far Eastern Iowa, Clinton, Iowa.
Clinton, Iowa. Hello, Quad Cities. I worked in Davenport for a number of years, so you were at the Clinton Herald there?
Yeah, I was with the Clinton Herald. I was an assistant sports editor for 3 years and made the kind of a career switch, came out here. Now I'm freelancing for the Register and liking it out here.
Don't let that Bryce Miller or any of those guys push you around. Bryce now goes to the columnist position. I believe he debuts on Sunday. Is that right?
Yep, debuts on Sunday. It's definitely going to be different having a little change of leadership. And Bryce is a great guy, and everybody I've dealt with the sports department there has been very, very good.
All right.
Professional all the way.
It looks like Hawk's going to be okay. He got some attention from the trainers. He's just kind of stretching out. But Curvin being carried to the locker room, and that's going to be a huge problem for the Dowling Catholic Maroons. He is the hoss of the linemen, and if he can't come back, that's going to be difficult. And so we hope he speedy recovery for him.
All right, Jay Ricketson of the Des Moines Register, thanks for joining us. We'll let you get back to work. Boyle's going to keep it on the option, and
all right, thanks,
not exactly a great decision there as he's run down from behind. Great tackle made behind the line by Brandon Johnson. And that's a loss, and so now the Maroons on a drive that looked really good all of a sudden is in danger of stalling out. 3rd and now 17. Ball goes back to the 24-yard line.
And 3rd and long, and it'll be interesting to see what the play call here is. If they go for the entire first down or they just try to get back in solid field goal position. McClellan, as a sophomore, has got a pretty good leg, but I think they're going to go for maybe an intermediate route and give him a chance at a field goal to make it a 12-point game.
8:10 on the game clock. Dowling leads 21-12. They haven't scored since 45 seconds left in the half. Boyle looks left. Now he's flushed out. Going to throw. Short, and it's going to be caught near sideline at the 12. It's going to be short of the first down, but it gets the yardage back. Joey Barsetti makes the catch, and he's one of those guys with Hawk out of the ball game. And Wisniewski getting the double coverage. So now another player is down. See, it is kind of warm here right there in front, but it's a Southeast Polk player this time. And if I'm going to wage a guess, it's Crosby Hines, the cornerback.
And he's had a great game so far. He really has played well, and it looks like a cramp. And so hopefully he's able to come back soon, too.
It was a gain of 10, so if you don't have all those yards lost, it's still 4th and 7. The Maroons need to get to about the 6.
And it looks like Tom Wilson still got his offense huddled up, so I think he might be contemplating at least going for this and thinking in confidence in his offense.
It's a 2-possession game with 8 minutes to play. You don't like to start thinking about that, but Starcevich is a guy who's got the talent. Maybe the advantage is it's that first game of the year. He doesn't know exactly who he's going to throw to. If it's Velez, is it Bream?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Beam. 4th and 7 for the Maroons, and the offense is on the field, Billy. 8 minutes to play in the ball game. 21-12. Dowling has the football. 4th down. Boyle going to throw. Here comes the blitz. He escapes it once. He's running for his life. He tucks it to the 10, to the 5. He has the first down. If the spot is where we think it is, and it is. They spot him at the 5. before he's knocked out of bounds. He was looking to throw the football the whole time.
But what an unbelievable run by Ryan Boyle. He was looking downfield. He didn't panic. On 4th and 7 for a sophomore quarterback to boot like that away from his throwing arm, and then the contact was made in front of the first down marker, but Boyle put his shoulder down and got the first down. What an impressive run.
9th play of the drive that started back on the Dowling 25. Boyle keeps it and goes right up the middle and gets another 3 yards to the 2.5.
Luke Sargent on the tackle.
And even inside the 10, they're still running the no huddle.
Absolutely, but that you see them changing up personnel, but it's interesting. They're getting tight ends on the field, getting receivers off, but you don't see any substitutions coming in from Southeast Polk, and that's the whole point of the no huddle. Keep that defense on the field. That defense is worn down. They just gave up a 4th down conversion.
Boyle's going to go under center. Christian and Dowell behind him. It goes to Dowell up the middle. Chase rolls, spins, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Dowling Catholic.
And what a run. What a run by Chase Dowell, and what a drive by Dowling Catholic. A 4th and 7 conversion, a couple first downs, a big catch on that 3rd and long. Let's not forget about that play, and that's exactly what Tom Wilson wanted. And with this extra point, he can put his team up 16, and that's a big deficit for Southeast Polk.
Only 4 minutes go off the clock, but it's 7. Now 7 points go on the board. The extra point is good by McClellan. 28-12 is our score.
Again, everything seemed to be going right for Dowling Catholic tonight. With the exception of the interception from Boyle on the tipped pass, and then the call to go for it. Remember when Boyle got sacked for a 9-yard loss? Otherwise, Dowling Catholic execution has been perfect. Game plan has been perfect. And I think you hit it on the head, Paul, that Southeast Polk, it's their first game of the year, and maybe they're starting to work out some of those kinks. And I think Dowling Catholic had a chance to do that last week at Johnston. And you made it. Maybe Startsvich doesn't know who his go-to target is. Maybe that defense a little unorganized still. And Dowling Catholic really showed up tonight.
Big gains are happened between weeks 1 and 2, goes the coaching cliche. You're watching us live worldwide on DowlingWebcasting.com. Glad to have you aboard. Paul Yeager along Billy Battistone. We're got Ramel Slaughter hanging out with us tonight. He's helping both the radio crew and also the TV side. Thank you so much for joining us. We're also on Twitter. You can listen or talk to Ramel at Dowling Webcast. Let us know where you're at, but there's also a way you can get your name and maybe a little story on. You can check out the website at DowlingWebcasting.com. It's going to be the kickoff now. Josh Vidane gets a high end-over-end kick that's going to be taken on the run by Southeast Polk's Jordan Beam. He's at the 10, the 15, to the 20, to the 25. The football comes out. Maroons say they have it, and they're still on their feet. Dowling Catholic has the football all the way down to the 12-yard line. Michael Palmy. Oh, doggy.
And what a lick, and that's where I think Beam just tried to do a little too much. He was wrapped up. I think that run was pretty much over. He tried to spin out. When he tried to spin out, the Dowling Catholic Maroons were able to strip it right out of there. Huge, huge turnover. And you could tell the Dowling Catholic fans, the student section, they are into it. Southeast Polk, shocked.
Now you have the chance to put the dagger in Southeast Polk. 6:57. The ball is 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line of Southeast Polk. One more score, and Southeast Polk will start warming up the bus. Handoff. Dowell up the middle. Hard hitting, hard sled, and Southeast Polk's not giving up. Nice stop there in the middle from Southeast Polk, Dylan Blackford.
Yeah, and you said it exactly correct. This could be the nail in the coffin, but do not expect Southeast Polk to roll over. This is a veteran team. This is an experienced team. They've been in big games before, and they're, like I said, we've talked about their coaching staff, and they are well coached. They're not going to roll over just yet.
Valley leads Waukee 31-7. That's in the second. Ames leads Des Moines East 28-7 in the third. Johnston starting to put some distance between Lincoln of Des Moines. That's 30-15 in the third. Urbandale 21, Fort Dodge 6. Indianola has gone final, beating Oskaloosa 14-13. Boyle runs for his life, escapes one tackler, but gets back to about the line of scrimmage. Actually, I think he's going to lose a yard. Down to the 12, so he lost about 2. So it'll be now 3rd and 10.
And while it's a 2-score game at 16 points, a field goal is going to be huge because that'll get it to 3 possessions. But I have not seen McClellan taking any warm-up kicks. So either he's ready to go or no, they're not thinking field goal.
Well, and you don't know what they're going to be thinking, and you don't want to have to get in that position until you have to. 3rd and 10. From the 12, handoff, goes to Christian. Christian puts his head down. The fullback gets his way, but he's going to be short of the first down. He's to about the 8-yard line.
And a good play design by Wilson. He knew that he can get the ball in the middle of the field, so he ran the power that way. And now they're going to send out the field goal unit to try to make this a 3-score game.
All right, so the Maroons are going to think about it, but they also, more importantly, Billy, need to run some time off the clock.
And they are going to take their time here. They're going to take it down to the very end, then Tom Wilson's going to use his first timeout.
Just because he's your boss, tell me about Coach Tom Wilson and what he means to this Dowling Catholic program.
You know, he is essential to what Dowling Catholic is in the classroom, outside of the classroom, on the field, off the field. He is a role model for these kids.
All of a sudden, we're listening to the radio, but now I see what's going on there. All right. We're just preparing for that post-game show, and we'll be able to rejoin Brian Morris. He's been down on our sideline. Sorry, Billy, I just didn't want to hear you anymore.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. I'm sure my roommates who are listening agreed.
All right, Maroons. They're going to put Nick McClellan out there at the 15 to make it a 25-yard field goal attempt.
And he's got the leg for this. This is a kick he's definitely capable of.
And it's not a pressure situation, but it's one that, boy, you'd like to have those points. You got to get him ready. It's a fake. It was a blown play, and it's going to be almost picked off. That play fell apart, right? That wasn't a called fake?
That was just a bad snap. And, so many things have to go right for the field goal to work, and those are things that people take for granted in high school football. You need a good snap, you need a good hold, and you need a good kick, and you can't get the last two without the first one, and that's what happened there. Just a little bit of nerves maybe.
But the good thing about it is they get it in game speed. You can practice that all you want, and until you run it in a game, you might not have a chance to know. You might think it's going very well, but now you know. Remember, guys, how many times the special teams coach says the snap is the most important thing, the hold, then the kick. There's no kick without a hold, without a snap.
Exactly. And with a kicker, everything's timing. And when that timing gets thrown off, everything falls apart. And that will definitely be a coaching point. If this game takes some crazy turns and that field goal becomes a huge play, that'll be a huge learning point. But if this game stays the way it's going, that will be one that Dowling Catholic won't necessarily be upset about, but something, again, like you said, they can definitely learn from.
But you had a drive that started on the 12-yard line and you come up empty. So you got to give all the credit to Southeast Polk on that drive.
And we said that after the turnover on the kickoff, that Southeast Polk wasn't going to roll over, but more importantly, they took some time off the clock. They ran that no huddle, but they still milked the clock. And now you've got Southeast Polk backs against the wall, needing 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions, and so still a big mountain to climb.
Sanford goes in motion. Starcevich is going to throw to him on the right side, back at about the 4, up to the 10, to the 15. Sherinian gives chase. Flood doesn't have to. Gelati's breath knocks him down. Sanford's close to the first down, up to about, they're going to put him at the 17. So pickup of 7 on the play.
And it's interesting. We're going to see what Grant Boston, the defensive coordinator for Dowling's, thinking right now. Is he thinking, keep everything in front of you, more of the prevent look already with, 4.5 minutes to play, or is he still keeping the pressure on?
3 receivers left. Starcevich looks to the left. He wants to throw to the left and does. Caught by Beam at the 18 and then follows up to the first down. Late coming through after Sherinian had him in his grasp. Coming through at the end was Cole Wymore. Wymore rushes off, and all of a sudden the IndyCar offense is coming for Southeast Polk. Whistle here. But I'm going to have a hard time keeping up if teams do that, and Southeast Polk has to take timeout.
And a timeout for Southeast Polk, and I'm not sure if they were having a miscommunication on the play, but that's a timeout that I'm sure their coaches didn't want to take. At 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes and 23 seconds left, when you're down 2 scores, you've still got a way to go. It looked like they had a play called, the formation was set, but they have to take a timeout, and that might be one that they would want back.
Des Moines Roosevelt leads Des Moines. Hoover, new coach for Roosevelt and Hoover this year. 21-18, I believe, right? Hoover has a new coach. North has a new coach. Roosevelt has a new coach. Isn't that right?
Yeah, a lot of staff changes in the Des Moines Public Schools, and it's really exciting to see where those programs are going to go in the next couple of years.
Marshalltown still leads Pella, 14-0. That's at the half. Eastern side of the state, Cedar Rapids Kennedy trails Wash, 14-3. Xavier 7, Hempstead 0. Iowa City West 14, Linn-Mar 0. Cedar Rapids Prairie leads Jefferson of Cedar Rapids 21-0. New coach at Cedar Rapids Jefferson as well. Starcevich out of the shotgun, looks to the right, throws, and it's behind the receiver beam. And no, incomplete. Looked like it bounced, hit him in stride, and right between 4 Dowling players.
Yep, and that's that cover shell look, and Grant Bossum likes that in the prevent defense. He's got both his corner stopping, he's got 2 safeties in the middle of the field, but it's all about communication, and when the safeties can't communicate, those seam routes are going to be open. Running that deep zone, that's what it's all about. It's all about knowing when to pass receivers and when to pick receivers up.
Southeast Polk in their road white uniforms, black pants with the Ram in black and white with a little bit of yellow in those helmets. Starcevich throws to the far side, and that one looked like it was juggled. Nope, they're going to say he caught the ball, and it's caught by Caleb Pavon. I've been waiting to say Pavon all night.
Yeah, got to get him involved in the offense here. And, a little no-huddle here, 3rd and 6. And Starcevich, again, the veteran leader, getting him lined up.
3rd and 6. Starcevich throws to the left, and it's almost picked off by there by Joey Miller playing deep, overthrew the intended receiver, which I'm going to guess here was Cody Heiler.
Yep, and even though Dowling Catholic is only rushing the 4 down linemen, still you got 2 Dowling Catholic Maroons in Starcevich's face. That is key. The fact that Dowling can get pressure on Starcevich without sacrificing coverage players, that's going to be very difficult. If you're Southeast Polk and you're their offensive line coach, you got to make sure you give him some time, especially if they're only bringing defensive linemen.
4th and 6 from the 27, Southeast Polk, no choice but to go for it. They do have 2 timeouts, so if you can get the first down, you need to get the ball to the 32. Starcevich throws. Here comes the pressure. He's going to be sacked behind the line of scrimmage because that's what a sack means. Here comes Alex Kramer on the stop, and that was just pressure up the middle.
And once again, we just said it last play, it's 4 defensive linemen. Nothing crazy, no crazy stunts. That's just line up and go get them, and that's exactly what they did. And, Dowling Catholic has really controlled the line of scrimmage in the second half. They've really had Starcevich on his heels, and we talked about that. Coach Wilson said it at halftime. We talked about it at halftime. Create pressure, and good things are going to happen, and that's a great sign for Dowling Catholic.
First and 10 from the 18. Here comes Boyle. 28-12 is your score. 3:45 to play. Paul Yeager along Billy Battistone here at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines. Handoff goes to Dowell out of the I formation up the middle. Chase Dowell gets a good couple of yards. And before the tackle is made by Mikesell.
And now Southeast Polk's going against 2 teams. They're going against the team that's wearing maroon uniforms and the clock, and that is difficult. Both of those are working against them right now, and you can even see some Dowling Catholic Maroon fans heading for the exit, already in a celebratory mood. So, and in Southeast Polk bleachers as well. So people are starting to get the vibe this game's going to go the Maroons' way.
Let's see how that one goes over on the far side. Yeah, leaving early. Ryan Boyle under center. Out of the I formation goes to Dowell up the middle. And again, Dowell gets a couple of yards. Luke Sargent, one of the Rams who makes the tackle.
And nothing wrong with this. This is going to be power, power, power. Let the clock run. And you might even see, again, they might be content with just power, 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 field goal, make it the 3-possession game, and that's going to be all she wrote.
Get a chance. No better time than to practice the field goal unit than right after.
Absolutely. Get them right back out there. And I think if I'm a betting man, I'm going to think this is power to the right. Get the ball in the middle of the field.
Boyle under center. Fakes the toss sweep, but goes underside to the Christian. And he is ever so close to the first down. And I think if you go by the far linesman, Billy, I think he's got it.
I think he's got it too. Let's see on the spot.
It's good to see. I love seeing the fullback in the offense. And it is a first down. It'll be first and goal.
Yeah, and especially, again, I think you're going to see more of the fullback as we go forward. And especially, Valley's going to be a great game. And I'm just absolutely thrilled to see that game because if Dowling Catholic can play defense the way they did tonight, run the ball, and get Hawk involved again, that's going to be a great showdown next week.
Had a chance to talk to Coach Swenson a little bit this week, and he was very concerned about the running game. Christian gets the handoff again, goes left, shows some moves. So much for that north-south. He is sniffing the goal line down to the 1 foot line. Nate Christian pick up a 4, make it 6 down to the 1.
And Southeast Polk not using their timeouts, content with letting this clock roll down, and I think that's pretty much the towel into the ring. Because you got to think here, it's 2nd and goal from the 2, and Southeast Polk knowing that this game's kind of gotten away from them in the second half. And again, go back to that missed field goal, or that missed extra point. Completely changed the dynamic of this game.
Handoff, Christian, they're trying to get him a touchdown, and he gets it. Nate Christian, 2-yard touchdown, puts the Maroons in command and puts this one away at the 1:18 mark. 34-12, Dowling Catholic rolling over Southeast Polk.
And you like to see that. You like to see Christian, who's worked so hard all game, get in the end zone for a touchdown. And he's jacked up. The Dowling Catholic players are jacked up. You see him jumping around, still high-fiving, and they're feeling good. And what a huge confidence boost for this team.
Nick McClellan looks to get the extra point here. A chance for that field goal team, extra point team up. The kick is up, and it is good. Dowling leads 35-12. I got to tell you, one of the more lopsided contests between these two schools in quite some time.
And we did not expect this. I don't think we really expected this, but we knew that it was going to be a high-scoring event, and it was. Dowling Catholic put some points on the board, but you know what was key? Dowling never gave up the big play, and Southeast Polk did. Southeast Polk gave up the couple long passes to Hawk for 50-plus yards, and they just really couldn't recover from that. And Dowling Catholic covering the deep stuff, forcing Starksvich to check it down. And overall, I think Grant Bossum's going to be very pleased with his defense, and Tom Wilson's got to be pleased with the overall effort of his team tonight.
Roosevelt leads Hoover 21-18. Ames starting to roll over East now, 42-21. Valley 45, Waukee 14, 45 points. Oh boy,
that's going to be a good one next week. That's
Johnston
be a good one.
38, Lincoln 15. Urbandale 28, Fort Dodge 6. So Fort Dodge kind of gutted by graduation the last couple of years. You know, they had that good squad 2 years ago. And Levi Peters and company and some guys that went on, some good multi-sport athletes, and Fort Dodge looking a little empty. But Urbandale, that's going to be a good one. I'll see him twice this season. And I know each one will be a very good contest as the kickoff goes from left to right by Josh Vidane, and it's taken at the 18-yard line. It's Dalton Sanford is still making that return up to the 32-yard line. So now all Southeast Polk is playing for is a little bit of pride.
Yep. And you mentioned it, you know, with the Urbandale comment. You know, when Dowling Catholic's schedule came out this year, everybody wanted to talk about those first 5 games. And what was Dowling Catholic going to do with Johnston, Southeast Polk, Valley, Urbandale, Ankeny, and that is, again, a real grind for a team. But so far, 2-0, off to a great start, and exciting about what we've seen here tonight.
35-12 is your score. It's a handoff to Sanford. Dalton Sanford goes around the right and gets about enough for a first down. Nice run there. As still seeing most of the first-teamers, but John Swisher gets in there on the stop. And let's see, we got a couple of other guys in there. Looks like JoJo Jock. Fun to see JoJo in a uniform, isn't it?
Yeah, I coached him last year as a freshman. He's a sophomore this year, and a ton of athletic ability. He's learning, and a year at the varsity has really been helpful for him.
Dalton Sanford again gets the call across midfield into Dowling territory, down to the 45. Tackle made that time by Joey Miller.
First and 10 Rams. The ball at the Maroon 44. Joey Miller on the tackle.
and I can't find, I'm looking for Curvin on the sideline. I can't seem to find him. So I think the story after tonight, on top of, obviously, you want to talk about the game itself, but going into the Valley Week, what's Curvin's status going to be? Because that is going to be key for the Dowling Catholic Maroons when they go into Valley and a tough offensive and defensive line.
Sanford gets the handoff, and John Swisher, and that is going to be the last play of the game. Dowling Catholic wins 35-12.
What a win.
All right, we are going to try to join the radio crew here of Mark Amadeo and Dave Marcoulier here and be able to listen to Brian